Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market. And yes, the show does go on. We got PPI out, major reaction off that. Bulls chasing down the Bears. And so, we'll see how tomorrow brings. We got some more big news coming out tomorrow. But we're going to go into PPI. We're going to go into the charts as well as where is money flowing and outflowing as well. And so, and there's one chart to definitely watch for tomorrow. It's like the chart of the day for me. And I'll go over that as well. And something to really, really look out for, guys, coming up here over the next couple of days. If this happens, it's very important to understand, not get caught with your pants down around your ankles here, okay? So when we look here, obviously PPI came in under what people thought it was going to be. Again, yes, inflation, some people think it's a nothing burger or whatever, but it can cause the market to move, okay? And so this is where you have to pay attention to this. The market still wants to move on it. Somebody says, oh, it's in the back review mirror, nobody cares about it. Well, the market does, okay? And, when you look at month over month, I think we came in like a 0 reading. So this is good when people are talking about rate cuts and things, because this is part of the data they are tracking, as you can see. I mean, it's almost basically back to normal is what some people say. And I know a lot of people don't feel that way. And I'm not saying I trust the data. But remember, it's not about us. It's about how the market reacts to the data. Now, I will say this. Remember, the economy is not the market. Market's not the economy, all that good stuff. But eventually it will be, right? And so what did Home Depot come out and say? Lowered the forward guidance. We're not spending as much. Can't believe it. Remember, this is discretionary stuff. You don't have to remodel your house and all that good stuff. And so, now Walmart reports Thursday. Well, they have stuff we actually need, groceries and stuff. So we're going to get to see what they got to say. But Home Depot, they downgraded the forecast, and I don't think anybody's surprised about that, because guess what? They say interest rates are really having an effect, and they are, okay? Now, where is money flowing out of and flowing into? Well, in the ETF world, you can see small caps, no surprise there. Big move out of that. Big move out of global stocks, because what's a big word, right? Global recession, okay? Because we're like the dirtiest rag in the laundry bin, basically. That's what people describe us as. That's why people keep putting money here compared to other countries. But look at the big inflow. $4 billion in the government bonds, right? $4 billion, and that shouldn't be no surprise, okay? And this kind of backs up the small cap ETF outflow right here. It's the biggest outflow in 3 years. And so, no surprise there. That's why it's been hurting, it's been struggling. Again, you saw what was going on today. A lot of them money flowing into the Mag 7, the big boys, right? Because that's more the safer bet. And of course, IWM was up, but when you see the Qs outperforming as much as it did today, that lets you know they're kind of, because again, these big, large caps with hundreds of billions of dollars on their balance sheet and stuff. Well, guess what? Those are kind of safe havens. Those aren't going anywhere because the politicians won't let them go anywhere. They'll let all the other small companies go bankrupt, but not the big boys. And I'll bring a chart on that tomorrow. Now, looking at the futures, like I said, I didn't think we were going down here, and we did not. And we talked about it. Once we get above that line right there, I had marked out. I said, if we get up in here, I think we're going to go fast, okay? And it's going to get covered quickly. And basically, that's what's happening. We're up 2.5% today in the futures right there. And so, again, no surprise, and left behind a boatload of liquidity again. And so, tomorrow, again, there's going to be volatility overnight. It's going to be volatility pre-market. And then we'll see, do we go another melt up or a bigger move down? That's what we're going to find out. And really wait and see, because it's going to depend on what they do tonight and pre-market tomorrow. But when you look at this, I mean, for me, I just mark out, okay, there's liquidity right there, still left behind. There's liquidity right there to still be grabbed. That means I have to do it right now. But looking at this right here, really what you want to see overnight for a nice move up tomorrow, be come down either tonight or pre-market, right? Take that out and then shoot up and cover the rest of the liquidity you see over to the left right there. So if you're bull, that's what I would rather see. It'd be much more constructive, a much more believable move for sure. I think you see way more volume flow in, because they was pretty low volume to push all the way up today, which means a lot of times that means the gains will be given back. But again, we'll wait and see tomorrow, because we've seen that before. And the good thing was the equal weighted ETFs were actually really green, especially the QQEW. Now, of course, what moves in a lot of these stocks? It's the options flow. Which one was the most bullish? NVIDIA. Which one was second? ARM. Which one was third? Tesla. Well, you look at those charts, all those stocks were up really nicely today, right? Leading the way. There's NVIDIA. And what is that right there, folks? What we've been talking about needs to get above. The 21 EMA. Bam. Closed above it. Went into our third shaded gray box right there, which has been on there for a while. And so that's a big deal right there. And again, I like to use this one right here because you can see rejection, support, 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 that kind of stuff. Okay, I like to use that one. Some people say, well, can I use the 21 SMA? I use the EMA because it reacts faster, and you can kind of see you don't really see straight out rejections there. It didn't quite touch it. That's why I like to use the EMA, but feel free to use the SMA if you want to, because if you pull them up over each other, you can kind of see a lot of times there's not a big difference. It's just when we make a quick move down, quick move up, that kind of stuff. And so I just see more touches on the EMA personally on my chart, and so that's why I like to use it and everything. But I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So it's up to you which one you want to use and stuff. But looking at this right here, obviously we're going to take those away, get those off the chart, and I'm going to pull out these little gray boxes because they seem to keep working. So I'm going to keep them on here while we can. Again, we're above that ascending trend line. We're above the 21 EMA now, which is a good thing. And we go to a 2 hour, you can really see the levels, right, that are going to be aimed for. Okay, we'll come up here, we're grabbing liquidity. The next level up, if it gets past this point right here and gets through this shaded area, is going to be 122.03. And it actually won't be quite 122.03 because, and you can see the next level up right there is around 124, because when you pull up the 50 moving average, the 50 moving average actually sits right there, almost near that level, right around 120.95, so 121 right in there. Sounds about right. So that's if we continue to move up, obviously. That's your next levels. Tesla, you can see, again, close above the 200s, above the 100s. It's got the 50 next. It actually is in this shaded area right here, which again, you can see when it touched it, it rejected off of it actually. And so again, that's just been an area of interest where you've seen support, you've seen resistance, all that fun stuff. So no surprise there for Tesla. And the big thing is, if it busts above 50, there's liquidity to be had, but it's just that a descending trend line, which it had broke above before. You saw a big parabolic move. Once that happened, that's really what you're looking for on Tesla. But again, what moves Tesla, folks? So what we talked about, the option flow. So if the option flow is rolling in, Tesla's going to be moving up. If, of course, the put flow is rolling in, it's going to be moving down. But looking at it, I don't know if we get good CPI data, which everybody expects, we're going to pop first, reject off of the 50 moving average to come back down, maybe clear some more liquidity down here. That's what we're going to find out. And again, a pre-market overnight is going to kind of tell us how this market's going to do tomorrow. Now looking at ARM, again, that was the second bullish flow, I believe it was. And you can see another move up. They were buying more leaps today. We talked about these 2026 leaps. They're buying millions more, okay? Somebody talked about quantitative chips. One of our members did. Actually, I see other companies making those. I don't really think that's it. I still haven't found any news that really makes sense why they're buying leaps in particular on this stock. But again, if you happen to know and have an article, send it to me and I can share it with everybody else. I just don't see it. But when you look at this one, it's going to move up here. And, you don't have a weekly stochastic RSI cross, which we're going to look at, and that's very important. You do have on the weekly, the RSI trying to get above 50. So the bulls are trying to take back control in a larger time frame. On the daily, you can see the RSI is still below 50. Stochastic's trying to turn up, right? There's still momentum trying to lead into this. But the one thing you just don't have is you really need structure like this. So I don't like to see a pullback down, because right now we're just kind of going at this straight up angle, right? I like to see a pullback down, and then we move from there. Again, it could start consolidate. Maybe it's going to wait on NVIDIA earnings, that kind of stuff. We'll have to see. And with all this other data coming out, so like Jackson Hole, we've got all kinds of stuff this month. Now I'm going to take away these boxes. This is what I was using in a members video today. So you can see out of this formation, we did try to break out today, and technically it did break out today on the short-term time frame. So let's see if this holds right here for a move out. But when we come over and look at it in a totally different way, you can see clearly that we gapped above and closed above the 100. So we didn't have to retest and find out if we got rejected. We filled that gap right there. So again, what do we talk about? When this stuff happens, you just do check marks, right? You go, ooh, cool, check mark, bounce off of 200. Cool, check mark, now it's above the 100. So as we keep going, you just keep checking boxes, right? You keep looking for the next hurdle to overcome. So what's the next hurdle? Well, obviously you got the 50 up there, which is not too far away. Okay, this is another one. When you look at it on the short-term time frames, which, what's it doing? It's been building out structure, right? It's going from a sell model to a buy model, okay? And so it's been coming up, retesting levels, bouncing off of them, right? And so that's what you're seeing right now, which is not a bad thing, all right, going into CPI. And again, the move down was so fast. That's why you're seeing such a quick, violent move up, really, right? And so no surprise there. I don't think anybody's surprised by that, because we've seen it many times before, versus like a slow drawdown. It usually takes longer to move back up, and so you're getting a slingshot effect right now. But again, I would love to see, even on the daily, to start to see, you know, a pullback down before starting to move back up. So hopefully that's something we'll get to see soon, if that's what the plan is for the market. You're still only 1.8% away from touching the 50, and that's going to be a big hurdle. And so we got to make sure that is the case. You can see it rejected last 2 times it touched the 50. And when you go to the S&P right here, you can see we didn't get a rejection off the 50 because we didn't touch it today. All right, and so again, we'll check a box by going, okay, made it through this shaded area, right? It's a terrible check mark. Let me take that off. Made it through this shaded area and closed above this shaded area. We talked about that yesterday. Good point of interest. Has been support in the past, been resistance. And so now if we can stay above that, maybe retest it to get the bounce to the 50. That's something else we'll get to see. And something to really look for when it comes to these indexes is really the momentum on the higher time frames, right? So all of them, it seems like, are trying to, you know, get a stochastic RSI bullish cross, right? You see them here, and usually when it happens, again, these are higher time frames. Things don't go straight up, but on these weekly time frames, right, when you get the old freighter turn like that, it's a good thing. And you hadn't had it here, hadn't had the cross yet. And if you're in a downtrend, it's different, right? When you do this, if you start just buying every single stochastic RSI cross when you're on a downtrend, well, then you might be buying a few of them, okay? But this is such a quick move down, probably going to be different. But you can see right here, that's why you need something else to kind of confirm, right? That's why you're looking at your RSI. You see how it's just downtrending and it's not moving above that moving average? And so that kind of gives you a heads up, say, oof, maybe a bullish cross on stochastic RSI, I need something else to confirm it. And so now this move down was so fast, as you can see right here, and did the bullish cross. You know, the RSI was above 50, so at least the bulls are in charge, okay? I mean, to move above that moving average is going to have to go almost into overbought for crying out loud, but because the move down was, so fast. And so, but again, if it's above 50, right, and it's actually trending up, which it still somewhat is, then that can be a good confirmation. You're just kind of waiting to see if it does get that cross on the stochastic right there. And when you look over here at the Qs, you can see it's already about to do this, right? So at the end of the week, we should know, are we actually going to get this cross right over here? Again, RSI is above 50 right there. And so that's really what you're looking for in a lot of these. A lot of the semiconductors have already done this, because that's why you see they're leading the way right now. They're doing better than just the Mag 7. Why? Because they were absolutely crushed, down 30, 40%, sold down way more than what Microsoft, Apple, and all the rest of them were, right? And so that's why you're seeing them lead the way. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, one stock to watch out for is going to be SHOP. Like SHOP, man. SHOP is sitting here right at the 200 moving average, right there, as you can see. And what's right above that? A big old gap. And so we know how bullish it is, especially after being rejected multiple times off a 200 moving average. If you break above that 200 moving average, and this is one of those ones that moves momentum, and momentum's on its side right now, it's going to 75 very quickly if it can get above. So, that. Well, I'm talking about with conviction, by the way, not just a fake out 1 minute candle and then come back down. But if you get a 15 minute candle above that thing, then it's going to 75 pretty quick. So it's about 8%. You can see the RSI is above 50. Stochastic is where you want to see it. As long as we don't get a push down. And so if the market rips, and it's going to depend, if the market rips tomorrow, just like it did today, then yes, you're going to see 75 on SHOP pretty quickly. Again, not financial advice. Do what you want to do. And lastly, before we get into the data and the earnings, you might notice Starbucks up about 25%. They stole Chipotle's CEO, and of course Chipotle didn't like that, so it dropped about 15%, recovered up to about $52 a share from 48. But again, we'll have to see, because now all of a sudden, you know, they got to start kind of restructuring. If the CEO had that big a deal in the company, that's not a good thing to lose it. I don't know why he would have left for Starbucks when Chipotle is growing like crazy, but if you haven't known, let me know. It didn't make much sense. It must be the money for sure. I guess Starbucks obviously can pay a lot more. Now, as far as tomorrow, core CPI and CPI month over month, year over year. That'll come pre-market. And then, of course, Thursday's a big day. We'll go over that tomorrow. And then the only thing I worry about as far as earnings is Cisco, but that is after the bell, okay? So just pay close attention to that one. Thursday will also be a big day, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. So hope you guys got some out of it. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you did. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and put your projections in the bottom for CPI. Do you think we're coming as is, like right at it, above it, or going to just blow it out the water and the market's going to go absolutely crazy? So let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. And I'll end up seeing you guys tomorrow.